The mugshots turned Trump into a sympathetic character in Black America. The streets are talking about him in a way they've never talked about him before. Black Americans online, some of them are saying, I'm voting for Trump now, because they too have sometimes felt they've been unfairly targeted by the criminal justice system. And you know, in this country, nationally, 1 or 2% of the black vote swinging to the Republicans, that's the election right there.
Jesse Waters is actually not the only conservative commentator who is arguing that the release of Donald Trump's mugshot has actually increased his support among the black community. People are talking about it. They're excited about his mugshot on the streets, as Jesse Waters said. This is like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Now, look, to be sure, the Republican Party has, as we've talked about on the show before, increased its support among black male voters a little bit. That has nothing to do with the release of Trump's mugshot. And I think it says something about people like Jesse Waters if they think a mugshot is something that would persuade black voters to support Trump. Like, what are you trying to say there? And unfortunately, Waters isn't the only person who has this kind of thinking among conservatives. So let's watch a little more of Waters and then we'll comment.
He is now seen by non-political folks as a rebel, an outsider with swagger. And as one black lady I spoke with earlier today here in New Orleans said, Trump's a gangster. And that means he has cred among a new block of voters that perhaps have never given him a serious look, and now they're looking again.
The African-American community, the black community, is rallying behind Donald Trump. And they're pointing to the mugshot saying, look, we've been saying this all along. We've been getting what Trump's, the treatment Trump's getting now all along.
It was the security guards at the event, a group of them, and on like 3 separate occasions, African-American men came up to me, they go, hey man, we're never voting for that other guy. We get all of this stuff.
But black Americans used to view it as white-black, and Donald Trump opened their eyes to, it's really about the corrupt and the people who they don't want to be involved. It's about the people pulling the strings. It's about the haves and the have-nots as far as power, not just money. And so now they've transitioned from the system is corrupt from, against black people by white, but they're seeing one of the most powerful white men in the world go through the same kind of that their buddy did or their cousin who was selling weed on the corner, and they go, maybe it's not a black-white thing.
God damn, I don't even want to talk about this story, to be honest with you. This is disgusting. What?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny watching these guys twist themselves into pretzel knots in order to they're sort of justifying black people's antipathy towards the police, which is like a new thing for me with right wingers, while also Trump is getting, it's like a weird thing that they're trying to do, which essentially is this idea, this old racist trope that black people are more attracted to criminality than anybody else is, right?
That's insane. It's an insane thing to say. I can't okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that this many conservative commentators were regurgitating this garbage. I can't believe it. I can't.
But here's the thing, Anna, that's doesn't just make it stupid. It's kind of funny at the same time in that, I think what they're getting at is this idea of gangsterism and gangster rap and the kinds of rappers whose record sales go up after they do something criminal, or if they're perceived to be gangster or whatever, and blah 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 blah. Here's the thing about that: the music industry, who owns the people who own and operate the music industry, are about 98% white. Music industry consumers, meaning the people who might buttress the sales of these type of audiences, are suburban, white people. This is the majority of people who go to rap concerts, who consume rap music. It's white people who like this stuff. Like this idea of, gangsterism and criminality, and this sort of caricature of what these artists are, or these people who become sort of infamous, who happen to be black. Like, bruh, the people who love this stuff are white. Like that's who supports this stuff at an overwhelming rate. This is who, feels like they're on safari when they're watching a certain type of rap music video or whatever. It's white people who like that kind of stuff in the first place. That's what makes this thing so stupid to even consider.
Yeah, look, the last rap concert I went to was at the Hollywood Bowl. Drake was performing, Lil Wayne opened for him. It was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. To be fair, it was a very diverse crowd, okay? But it's in Los Angeles, which is a very diverse city.
It's different.
Yeah. But let's not forget that the mugshot they're referring to was taken in Fulton County, Georgia, okay? In regard to the Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney, Fani Willis, indicting Trump for his role in attempting to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Now, in that case, you know what he did, along with Rudy Giuliani? Essentially lied about, defamed, and terrorized 2 black women who are election workers in Fulton County, Georgia. Election workers who did their jobs appropriately, who did absolutely nothing wrong. But you have Trump and Giuliani alleging that they tampered with the ballots, which led to threats against them, endless harassment, the FBI telling them to leave their homes for their own safety. There's 2 black women. And conservative media is trying to twist the narrative and make it seem like, oh yeah, black community loves Trump. They think he's got street cred. They think he's hard. No one thinks that. No one thinks that. Like no one's buying it. It's absolute garbage. You're right, Waz. It's perpetuating a stupid trope. And it's just insulting, like it's overall insulting. It makes the claim, you're right, that black people are attracted to criminality. Anyway, I think it's gross, all of it. I get it, I get the funny angle, especially that dork in the very first video in the compilation we showed you. Please stop talking, right?
The streets, Anna, the streets.
But I can't.
The streets of Midtown East, where that guy probably lives, where you won't find a Negro in sight. I think it's the saddest part about this is that these people are tasked with informing their viewers, about politics and the process and what's happening in our country. And to me, the saddest part is just the utter contempt that they obviously have for their viewership and listeners. They think these people are stupid. I really truly believe even the most virulent racist doesn't think that a black person is all of a sudden gonna just turn, just completely do a 180 shift on his viewpoint, his or her viewpoint of Donald Trump based on a mugshot. Like I don't even think the most virulent Klansmen would actually believe that. Like it just shows that they just don't care anymore, and they're not even trying at this point.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.